Next AI field is fuzzy logic. Pretty interesting one. Let's take a look. Fuzzy logic is an artificial intelligence approach that mimics human reasoning by allowing variables to have partial truth values between 0 and 1. Instead of traditional strictly true or false or on-off, it processes vague or imprecise data using so-called linguistic variables, for example, slightly warm, very hot, to make nuanced and real-world decisions. So why and where it is used? Fuzzy logic is highly effective in complex systems where exact mathematical models are difficult to define, but human intuition and experience are abundant. It is highly forgiving of noisy or imprecise sensor data. So, common applications include consumer appliances, for example, some kind of cookies, while adjusting heat in real time based on moisture. Washing machines, for example, adjusting water levels based on load size, and autofocus cameras. Automotive, for example, cruise control, ABS or anti-lock braking system, and transmission shifting. Industrial control, for example, in chemical processing, climate control and robotics. And aerospace, spacecraft, altitude control, and aircraft flight stabilization. So, how fuzzy logic works? Fuzzy systems use a four-step pipeline to process information and make a physical action. Let's name them: fuzzification, rule evaluation, aggregation, and defuzzification. Let's start with fuzzification. Means raw, precise data values based on membership functions. Rule evaluation. An inference engine takes the fuzzy values and applies the rule based to determine the appropriate response. Aggregation. The results of multiple rules are combined into one single fuzzy output. And finally, defuzzification. The combined fuzzy output is converted back into a single, precise, so-called crisp value that a machine can actually execute. Core concepts for fuzzy logic. Traditional Boolean means binary, logic restricts computer to 1, which is absolutely true, or 0, which is absolute false. Fuzzy logic introduces a continuous spectrum of truth. Membership functions. These curves map exact real-world numbers, for example, to like a temperature of 60 degrees Fahrenheit to a degree of membership in a fuzzy set. Linguistic variables. Fuzzy logic uses human terms, for example, like short, tall, fast, or cold, are converted into mathematical sets. And fuzzy logic utilizes if-then rules. Expert knowledge is encoded into intuitive rules. For example, if the room is very cold, then increase the heater significantly. That's how fuzzy logic is utilized. Next, we're going to take a good look into fuzzy logic specific tools. Fuzzy logic tools, which are software applications with libraries designed to model, analyze, and automate decision-making process based on degrees of truth, rather than strictly on true or false, which means Boolean. They are heavily used in control systems, artificial intelligence, data matching, and pattern recognition. Mathematical and engineering model. There are two main tools. Famous MATLAB Fuzzy Logic Toolbox which is industry standard for designing and simulating Type 1 and Type 2 phasing inference system, so-called FIS. It features the graphical fuzzy logic designer app. You don't need to be a programmer there, and allows for rule tuning via genetic algorithms or neural networks. Next application is Fifth Pro, which is specialized open source software dedicated for creating and using fuzzy inference systems specifically for simulating physical or biological systems. And fuzzy logic tools, which is C++ programming language framework, focus on the design and analysis of so-called Takagi Sugena fuzzy control system, named after inventor. Python ecosystem. There are two of them, fuzzy logic and scikit-fuzzy. Fuzzy logic, lightweight, Pythonic library for building domains, fuzzy sets, and logical rules to map input domains into output controls. Scikit-fuzzy, collection of fuzzy logic algorithms once again for Python, built on top of SciPy, commonly used for rapid prototyping of fuzzy control system. Then, data matching and reconciliation, also two tools. Alteryx Fuzzy Matchbox and Fuzzy Wuzzy. Let's start with Alteryx Fuzzy Match tool. Data preparation tool designed to identify non-identical matching records, for example, typos or varied name structures across massive data sets. And Fuzzy Wuzzy, a popular string matching Python library that using Levenstein distance to calculate distances or differences between sequences in text data. Then GIS and spatial analysis. One tool, specific or dedicated tool, ArcGIS Pro Fuzzy Membership and Overlay tools. Used for specific geographical data modeling when boundaries between classes are imprecise. This tool scale continuous data to a 0 or 1 range based on likelihood. Remember about fuzzy logic and fuzzy logic tools.